This is Win News.
Tonight, the Prime Minister sells the new mining tax. A snorkelling trip turns to tragedy. And our basketballers one step closer to hosting home finals. Good evening, I'm Samantha Heathwood. The Prime Minister has met with miners in Mackay, promising changes to the federal government's resources tax will provide job security. But while she was doing the hard sell, it was the absence of local members that raised eyebrows. Just 24 hours after she struck a deal with mining giants, the Prime Minister flew to Mackay to meet workers face to face.
And so, Dave, you've been here for 28 years.
While both local members for Dawson and Capricornia were nowhere to be seen,
Well, look, they would have been very welcome.
it was the perfect opportunity for Mike Brunker to talk campaign. Meantime, the Shadow Minister for Energy and Resources has weighed in, saying any tax is going to be detrimental to business. Ian McFarlane was in Mackay today talking to Paget companies and the Chamber of Commerce. The Queensland Government is trying to reach a new agreement with Chinese aluminium producers Chalco after the company terminated its agreement to build a large alumina refinery near Bowen. The move has left great uncertainty in the region, with Bowen set to miss out on thousands of jobs if the project fails to go ahead. Operations at Peabody's North Goonyella mine have resumed. The department shut down the site last Tuesday after concerns were raised about the mine's health and safety plan following an underground accident. A 38-year-old mechanic and a 26-year-old shuttlecloud driver are still recovering from the incident. The proposed Hancock rail corridor has been approved. Premier Anna Bligh says the $2 billion project will link Hancock's Alpha coal mine in the Galilee Basin to the port at Abbott Point. Police are pleading with motorists to be more responsible on our roads. The call comes after a number of incidents involving hooning, drink driving or a combination of the two.
The occupants of this vehicle are lucky to be alive. At about 10:30 on Friday night, things took a turn for the worst. The Toyota sedan finishing up on its roof.
A 55-year-old man has died while snorkelling in the Whitsundays. It's understood he was a passenger on a charter tour boat to Luncheon Bay near Hook Island. Police say the man surfaced from the water on his own. He was then taken back to the boat where it's believed he collapsed. CPR was administered on the way to Hayman Island, but he couldn't be revived. A report is being prepared for the coroner. Whitsunday Regional Council is calling on the Police Commissioner to set up a reward scheme for anyone with information about an incident of tomato poisoning in Bowen. Mayor Mike Brunker says the effects on the economy are going to be devastating. Tax time is upon us and families are in for some financial relief. The third round of tax cuts will be delivered by the federal government for the new financial year. Up next, Mackay's best actors head off to nationals. Then Ergon's new hub powers up. Welcome back, you're watching Win News. Construction has begun on the new Ergon Energy building. The company says the project will see service delivery improve to the Mackay community.
Ergon services in the region are set to power up. The company is well on its way to having most of its operations in one location. Ergon says this new hub will dramatically improve services. More than 230 of its employees will be based at the $26 million complex.
It provides a consolidation of all of our staff in Mackay, except for a small group that we'll maintain in the CBD. And it gives us the ability to bring our planning and our delivery all to one area.
Bob Brown has visited the Mackay region to check developments and throw his support behind Greens candidate for Dawson, Jonathan Dickie. The Abbott Point coal port expansion was Senator Brown's main focus today as he appealed to voters to think long-term on the potential environmental impacts created from the project.
Bob Brown has built his reputation on challenging the big players. Today was no different as he launched his attack on the $818 million Abbott Point expansion north of Bowen.
Now to Viewwatch, and the cheapest place to fill up around town today was at the Caltex on Mangrove Road. Both unleaded and diesel could be found for $1.32.5. 13 CQ University students have been recognised for their talent. James O'Shea has sport next, and our basketballers put a spell on the Wizards.
Yes, Sam, home court advantage for the finals is all but secured. More on that next. And so close, the Devils edge out the Cutters. Thanks for joining us on Win News. Sport time now, and the Meteors and Meteorettes have moved a step closer to hosting home finals following big wins over Brisbane Northside. Tim Conrad starred for the Meteors' 18-point victory, while Rachel Allison was equally impressive for the Meteorettes. And that should be a great game next week against Gladstone. Well, to league now, and the Cutters' winning run has come to an end at the hands of one of the leading teams in the Queensland Cup. A missed conversion attempt proving the difference as Brisbane Norths got home 28-26.
The match-up against one of the top teams in the Queensland Cup was always going to be a tough encounter. Arana Tamata and Darren Griffiths posted tries for the home side in a tense opening 40 minutes. The Devils started the second half at a hectic pace. The 10-all half-time scoreline blowing out to 28 following tries to Brenton Gibb, Jack Reed and Javerne White.
Still on rugby league, and Maroons prop Matt Scott says the faith shown in him by selectors will spur him on to a more performance in Origin 3. He'll line up in a Queensland forward pack that Jonathan Thurston believes is deserving of being picked for Australia. Cowboys utility Anthony Watts will leave the club at the end of the season to play for the Sydney Roosters. Watts manager Sam Ayub today confirming that the 23-year-old has agreed to the terms of a 3-year contract with the Roosters. To racing now, and here's Ian Goblin with his selections for tomorrow's big Newmarket race meeting.
Well, folks, good evening. It's Cup Week here in Mackay. Newmarket race day tomorrow, then the big Mackay Cup race day on Saturday. Why not come out and enjoy the glitz, glamour and excitement that is thoroughbred racing? In the $50,000 Mackay property maintenance Newmarket, I like Go Bo. He's very honest and won his only start here in Mackay over this distance. This is one of the toughest fields he's come up against, but he'll be there about the finish. In the Cuta 600 2-year-old, I'm going for Craigley Edge. He's coming off a solid second in Rocky to touch it, and prior to that a win over Western York. Only concern was the 12.50, but if he can run out the trip, he'll be hard to beat. Well, folks, if you're having a punt tomorrow, best of luck for Win News. Ian Joblin, have a great Cup Week.
Thanks, Ian. So it should be a huge week of racing, Sam, this week for Mackay, so can't wait.
Go-Bo, he said, didn't he?
Stick with Go-Bo.
Go-Bo, see how I go. Thanks, don't stay with us. Peter Byrne has the weather details up next.
Good evening, Weather Watchers. Well, guess what? The latest in a series of upper atmospheric troughs will start affecting Queensland. That includes the local area during the next 24 hours. And that's a forerunner to yet another rain event for the local area, probably starting late Wednesday, peaking on Thursday before it exits the coast during Friday morning. Details coming up shortly. And the next event is not expected to produce anything as so spectacular as that beautiful photograph. Looks as if it's striking the boats there, but I think those lightning leader strokes are striking the water behind the breakwater there. Magnificent. And as per usual, finally the summary. Isolated showers, mild temperatures, areas of rain Wednesday, Thursday. That's it for the weather. Now, as per usual, it's back to Sam.
Thanks, Pete. Well, that's the local news for now. Hopefully a few isolated showers tomorrow won't affect the races.
I'm sure this will be a big day, and hopefully we'll get clear weather for Saturday. That's the big one.
Yeah, Mackay Cup, good one. Thanks, James. Join us tomorrow night for the best hour of news from 6 p.m. from all the team. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Win Television, Australia's largest commercial television network.